All right, everybody, welcome back. It is, wow, it's May 7th. That's crazy how time is flying through the year. And this is just my Corona update, my Corona hair update here. My barber is closed down, so I'm not quite as tightened down on the hairdo as I usually am. But
the same for all of us.
yeah, it's like, when's this madness gonna stop? But anyway, it's actually, I'm not going to say it's good. There's nothing good about it, but there are some good things coming out of it for a lot of people that I see. And I think Jim can attest to that. He's kind of locked in his wheels are turning and he's getting stuff done. And there's a lot of people.
Hey, John, speaking of that, can I throw out a gratitude and shout out for you?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just like, I just ended my very first group business coaching call.
Oh,
and I've
cool.
been wanting to launch this for 2 years, and I needed the tools, I need the systems, the communication, the automation to really do it effectively. And John helped me with Kartra, helped me with a bunch of other things. And I'm fairly tech savvy, but it was tough. And just John, having your support, your tech support, your positive attitude has really allowed me to leverage this coronavirus time and be able to help out a lot more people. And I'm giddy and super grateful. Thank you.
Awesome. No, it's been really cool to watch your progress, because it's gone pretty fast, hasn't it? Yeah. There's a lot of people like that too. Tammy's on the call here. If you look at where she was just a few months ago and where she's at now, it's like, wow, who is this person? So really, really cool. I love that. But like I was saying, a lot of people are getting forced to grow. And that part of this has just been awesome. I mean, a lot of us belong to Craig's group, and look at what it's done for him. I've been telling him for years, I'm like, oh my God, dude, you're working way too hard. I'm like, you could do a lot of this stuff online, and he just wouldn't budge. And now he's like all over it. So it's just incredible to watch all of that. It's really, really cool. One of the things I'm super excited about, well, there's just so much right now. This is really an exciting time. I have been the same thing. I'm forced to like not go anywhere. So I didn't go a lot of places anywhere, and unless it was like Tahiti or something, but it has really kind of focused me helping all of you and just like really gearing in and digging our heels in. And one of the things that I've been working with a lot of different people. And one of them it's a new company called Be Connected. And what they are, it's a launch. It's actually pre-launch right now. They're not even doing what they're going to do. But what their plan is to be like the next LinkedIn. It's a business platform. And what they're doing is, it's like matchmaking. They have an algorithm that when you create a business profile, this is totally B2B. So if you're a business owner and you want to connect with other business owners, that's what they're building the platform for. And that alone is pretty cool. But the thing that behind the scenes that I saw them doing that I didn't even realize it was an option, but it is. And it's an option to partner with a big company like Zoom to bundle your products into a product bundle instead of standalones. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm working right now to get that involved. So I will be able to, anybody that is in my membership, my $29 a month membership, which you guys are all part of, I'm going to be able to or I'm trying to be able to bundle in a Zoom account included with that. And so I'm working on that right now. And I think I'm going to be able to pull it off. But we're not talking about just the standard Zoom account. We're talking about a 500-seat webinar license, which is fairly expensive. And that's what the Be Connected company has done. They've partnered with Zoom to do that on the back end of their platform. They're charging, and I don't know, I'm just being totally transparent with you guys of what they're doing, what's going on. If any of you want to jump in on it, I can tell you how to do it if you want to. But they have a pre-launch deal where they're coming out, and I don't think this is true. I think they're doing it just as a hype and their pre-launch to incentivize the promotion of the company. But they're saying it's going to be $299 a month, which to me, that's way too much. I don't think they're going to have retention at that. But the deal is that when you're in there, when you're a Be Connected member, their algorithm goes to work. You set up a business profile, and then their algorithm goes to work to match you with other business owners that you could do business with. So not like the spammy stuff like you get on LinkedIn. You know, you put up a business profile and you get hit with a ton of outsourcers from, you know, India and Israel and China and who knows where else, just hammering you. It's not going to be that kind of a thing. It's going to be connections based on their algorithm. So you could go in and say, I don't want any link builders hitting me. I don't want to hear from telemarketers. I don't want this. I don't want that. And then its algorithm will just filter that stuff out. So they can't even connect with you or see you or whatever. But anyway, I think $299 a month, I don't think the market's going to bear that. I think they're probably going to wind up somewhere around $47 a month. I think at $47 a month, I think that would fly really, really far. But what they're doing right now is they're doing $299, and it's totally pre-launch. And anybody that gets in at $299, they have the referral program where if you bring 2 more people in, you get grandfathered in for free for life, which that's a pretty good deal.
Can you say that again, the start of what it is right now?
What they're saying it is right now, they're saying it's $299 a month. And there's commissions with that. Like if you brought someone in at $299, you would get the referral fee, you know, the affiliate commission rather. And they've got a 2-tier. So anybody that they bring in, you get a lower tier. I think it's like 10% on the second tier, which that stuff's all standard. It's not an MLM. It's not one of these deals where, you know, you have to qualify all this crap to get paid. It's a straight affiliate program. It's just a 2-tier affiliate program. But $299 to sign up for the monthly, which again, I think is outrageous. But I think they're doing it right now to incentivize people to get the 2 others and just spread it like wildfire. But, you know, if you think about it, $299 and you get 2 people to jump in and then you get it for free for life, that's a pretty good deal, especially if you can get everyone else doing that. So everybody, ultimately, they wind up just paying the $299 and get the deal for life. That is only going to be available in their pre-launch. Like I said, I have no idea what's going to happen after they launch it. I think they're going to find out real fast that $299 is not going to cut it. I think they're going to die on the vine if they try and pull that off. So I think ultimately it's probably, my best guess is it'll probably wind up being around $47 a month. But still, you know, that's a lot more than if you get grandfathered in for $299 for life. You know, that's what my goal is. I just signed up for it to get that. You know, I figure I'm not going to promote it hard at that, but I figure at least a couple of people are going to want to jump on. That's all I need is 2 for it. But what I saw them do is how they're adding value to it is they're giving When you sign up on the $299, they're giving you on the back end, they're giving you the ability to buy a Zoom account for $9.95 a month. That's a 500 seat license because they've made this deal with Zoom. So if you think about that, that alone makes it worth the $299 buy-in, because you only have to do that once. So you could cancel that and keep the Zoom account forever for $10 a month. When I looked at the numbers, the straight up numbers for me, I was paying $14.95 a month for my regular Pro Zoom account, which was a 100 seat license, unlimited recording, all of that stuff. And then I also had an add-on of the webinar feature, which added $40 a month on the top of that for a 100 seat webinar. I have pretty much gotten to the end of my 100 seat webinar because I've filled them twice now. And I probably need more if I'm going to start expanding. So their 500 seat webinar goes up to like a couple $100 a month. So what you're able to get here is for $9.95 or $9.97, whatever it is, under $10 a month, a 500 seat license of Zoom, both for the webinar and the Pro meeting. That's crazy cheap. You can't get that through Zoom itself. They don't sell it. So it's a bundled license from a backdoor deal that Zoom is cutting with bigger companies to do that. Like for MLM companies, that's what they're doing. So I've put my application in to see if they're willing to do that with me, and I can bundle it into my monthly membership and just give it in the membership. That's what I'm shooting for. So if I can pull that off, you guys are all in. So that is my goal. But anyway, it's a lofty goal, but I think I can pull it off, especially with where we're going. I've laid out the plan for them of what we plan on doing, how we plan on growing the the whole ACT program and the Spanish version of it. We've got a couple of really, really good players, I think, to promote us now for our Spanish launch. And I think we're going to do more in Spanish than we've ever done in English. So that's going to be really cool. So, Tammy, are you excited about that one? Oh, you're
yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys know Miguel Sanchez. He's part of Craig's group. He's a great speaker. He's a motivational speaker. And some of you have probably seen him on Craig's stage. He's the short little Mexican guy. And I don't know if that's politically correct, Spanish guy, whatever you want to call it. But he does his whole routine where he drags a bag of cans out on the stage. And his whole story is about collecting cans. And the whole premise to that is you can do anything you want. But it's an incredible story, the way he tells it. He's really, really motivational, and he's got a massive following in the Spanish community. So he's going to be our first one out of the can to promote that. So, and like I've told you guys this over and over and over, most of the money that I've made in large chunks have been exactly this way, of connecting the dots, finding somebody that has an audience I want to tap into, and just pay them to connect me. And we do it through referrals or affiliate programs. So he'll make a bunch of money off of this, and I'm perfectly fine with that. There's what you're going to find in working with people is if you take a greedy attitude, you're going to get a greedy response. If you don't, you won't. And I've always been that way. That's why there's just people. I have no problem getting people to want to work with me, basically because of that. And I think that if you take that same angle, I think you'll find the same for yourself. I know a lot of people that I've coached on that have come back and told me I was right on the money with it. They went from like nobody wanting to work with them to everybody wanting to work with them. So, you know, there's a lesson to be learned in that. Share the wealth. If you're, you know, anybody that you do business with, it's like a negotiation. It should be a win-win for everyone. You know, if somebody feels like they're taken advantage of, no good will come of that. That's a greed thing. And it's like, you know, law of attraction. When that vibe goes out, it comes back, and usually it'll bite you. So anyway, let's open it up. There's so many just cool things I could talk about, but let's figure out what you guys are.
Hey, John.
Yeah, go ahead, Gregory.
All right. So you mentioned this goes back to FTC.
Okay.
And I've been reading the affidavit that the FTC filed against Online Trading Academy. The latest evolution is they signed a monitor. So all their assets are now frozen.
Yeah.
All their income is now goes to the monitor's control. They're allowed to pay what employees they have left on staff, and they're prohibited from moving forward. They got a judge that agreed with the FTC that they're no longer allowed to promote their Online Trading Academy program, which goes back to me with my trading program, and it put a little bit of, this point is, it put a little bit of fear of God in me, because and what I'm doing is I'm going over the affidavit and saying, okay, what did OTA did wrong that got the FTC on their back? Now it turns out they've been investigating these guys since 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't, it's not like it happened overnight. It's been a 4-year ongoing case.
Yeah.
So the ultimate point of discussion that is that I'm pretty sure that I'm doing the right thing by going through the FTC affidavit and then avoiding that minefield.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yes, sir.
Your
turn. Thank you.
Here's some stuff, and this is for anybody. This isn't just if you're in the finance world. This is for anyone selling anything online. The FTC is like the big pit bull on the street. You do not want him sniffing you, basically. I mean, that's the moral to the story, because once they take a bite into you, I mean, did you guys hear what Gregory just said? They basically locked up all their assets. They did that with Frank Kern. They did it with Perry Belcher. I know probably a half a dozen guys in the internet marketing space that has happened to. And I can tell you why. I mean, it's very simple what it comes down to. They are doing stuff they shouldn't do. And one of the triggers that will get that big pit bull to sniff you is a lead, a tip. Someone tips them off. Like if you piss somebody off and they make a complaint, they do a consumer complaint, those guys are monitoring the consumer complaint boards. They're monitoring like stuff like Ripoff Report. And when they see complaints against you, that's what kind of makes them look. And, you know, at first glance, if they don't see anything, then you don't smell good. They stop. But if they turn your direction and follow the scent, and the scent stinks, then you're done, basically. You know, one of the things is if you are not disclosing all of your terms on your site, that's really important. That's FTC Guardian has built a business around protecting people through that. You know, you need proper terms, you need privacy policies, you need all of that stuff publicly displayed to the world, because you're doing business with them. You know, it'd be like doing business without a contract. The contract has, you know, you have to protect yourself in any business, because there's the society we live in. It's, I don't know, what do they call it? Litigious. It's basically, you know, lawyers have gone crazy. You know, I mean, a good majority of them, I think, should be taken out and shot just from the crap that they pull. And you know, that's just me. I'm probably pretty old school on my thought process there, but my dad taught me there was black and white and there was no gray. You're either right or you're wrong. You're doing what you should or you're doing what you shouldn't. And, you know, a lot of the stuff they do, they just shouldn't do. It's crazy. You know, they do it for a buck. It's back to that whole greed thing. Anything for a buck. If that's who you are, people are not going to like you. They're not going to want to work with you. You know, you should be in the world to make it a better place. You know, if you're doing things that enhances people's lives, they're willing to pay you for that. They're willing to be happy about paying you for that. So anyway, you've got to have that. You've got to protect yourself because of that. It's just the society we live in. The new one right now is the ADA compliance. There's lawyers going after small businesses for these huge fines because they're not ADA compliant. Again, it's total bullshit, but it's real. It's, you know, it's not something we can make go away. There's laws out there in place to protect handicapped people. And I'm not saying that I don't believe in that, but the level they've taken it to, come on, really? Seriously? Is that the world we live in? It is, unfortunately. Like, if your website doesn't have tags, like if images on your website, this is just a simple example. Let's say you put up a website, you're a little lazy and you forget to put your alt tags in your images. That's how a blind person that comes onto your website, they have a special computer and they can read by Braille on a website. When they roll over your image, if your image doesn't have an alt tag, they can't read it. So an attorney will come in and say, you have just done a wrong to this handicapped person. We're going to sue you. Really? Yeah. I mean, how stupid is that? You could get sued for forgetting to put a tag on your image right now. There is a law in place that a lawyer could come onto your site right now and sue you. I mean, that's almost a world I don't want to live in. You know, that's pretty crazy. So that's just, it's real. It's going on. FTC.
Okay. So how do you put an alt tag on your images?
Well, it depends on what program. Like if you use WordPress, all you have to do is go to the image properties, and then in the image properties, there'll be a alt text and you just type it in. Pretty simple.
Okay.
It's not difficult to do.
Oh, do you have to provide the description of the image?
What alt text is, the description of the image will automatically be placed in most web design tools.
Okay.
And what it does, it just takes the name of the image file, and by default, if you forget, by default, it will just put the name of the image in there. But oftentimes, if you do a photo off your camera, your image will be DSC 1009485.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean anything. It's not really a description of what the image is, so it doesn't help the blind person.
Got it.
Doesn't help them understand. So, you know, there's other things about it too, and they really do. They expect you to build your site. It's like if you had if you go into hotels now, they have to offer handicap rooms, right?
Yeah.
If they don't, they can get sued. They can't even be in business without offering handicap accessible rooms. Cities got sued first by not having handicap curbs. Yeah. You know, now they went and they chopped out all the corners and they put the handicap ramps in for wheelchairs. Cities were literally, there was a whole litigation thing where attorneys were jumping on board as fast as they could to put lawsuits against cities that weren't in compliance. It's, you know, it's like, Yeah, I'm all for opportunity, but that's just dirtbag opportunity.
Mm.
I don't like that kind of stuff. But like I said, it's the world we live in. And if we're going to do that, and a lot of you guys are moving to the online space and it's new territory. This is like new water you're swimming in. So it's important that you understand the alligators that are in the water with you, because you don't want to get eaten. And so I can show you guys what I'm talking about here. And this is taking it beyond. This is like really what you should be doing. Let me share my, I'll share my screen here. So notice I have a little handicap button up here.
Oh, cool.
If you really want to be compliant and not be able to be sued whatsoever by any of these idiots, you actually need to have something like this where it converts your site. Like, well, I'll just show you. When you click on that, like a handicapped person would come on here and they have special computers. So this button here is TTS, that's text to speech. So that basically means when they roll over your text boxes, it will talk to them. And they also have Magnify. They also have cursor, like a, see this white cursor? Can you guys can see my cursor, right?
Yes.
So a handicapped person might have trouble seeing that. So what they can do, they can click two or three times. Like 2 times makes it much bigger. So see that now? See how it's not white anymore? It's black and it's much bigger. And I can go back and now it's regular again. So another thing is text spacing. Like if your spacing on your text is too small and they can't deal with that, that's something. Also display, you can turn it black and white. There's some people that are colorblind. You can also, you can turn it high density on your navigation. So this stuff calls out that that's navigation. So you can do that. You can also inverse it, because different handicaps have different ways that they can see or not see your site.
John, please
Hey.
tell me that that's a feature of Kartra and it's built in.
It currently is not.
How did you get that?
This is a company that I use called AdComply, and they give you a little script to put on your site that runs the software as an overlay. And I actually bought this as a commercial thing where I can do it for all my clients. So like when we're building websites and stuff, I'll add that in for them as just a feature of us building their websites. Another thing that I've got that this doesn't have anything to do with compliancy, but this is really cool, is see this little button down here that says leave a voicemail? That pops up where they could actually record right here using their computer if they didn't want to do a text, or if they didn't want to do an email. A lot of people don't like to write an email. They're used to the old school world. Like I have a lot of older clients. A lot of my commercial clients, they're in their 50s to 80s. You know, I have a lot of manufacturers. These guys don't write email. You know, they'll either call you or they'll leave you a message. They're very old school. So now they can go onto my website. They don't have to remember my phone number. They can just click here to record, and they can use the microphone right on their computer, and they're talking right now. They can leave up to 30 seconds. And then when they stop, they put their name and email in there, and that'll send it right to my email box. And then I can either call them back, or I can respond to their email or whatever, but it sends me an email with their voice on it.
Okay, where'd you get that one then?
So it's really cool. And this is another one. If it's not in there already, I'm going to put it in as a bonus for all of you guys, because a lot of times when I find this stuff, I won't just buy the piece of software. I go to the company and I find out how to buy it so I can give it to everybody. So I pay a lot more for the base licenses for these things, but I do it so I can give the stuff away. Like if you guys noticed, I don't know, a lot of you I don't think go into the actual membership part of the site, but if you go into, how many of you guys actually go into your membership area? Judy, she's all in with it. But
I do.
Okay, cool. I'm glad to hear that. But if you guys go in here under resources, and then there's a bonuses tab, you'll see I put a bunch of stuff in here. Like this is an SEO software here, so a lot of you, that might not be for you. But here's like Kartra, here's my free Kartra templates. This is an automated sales attendant. This thing here is ultra powerful. And of all the members, I've got hundreds of members. I think probably about 10 people are using this. I give you the guys this for free. This is part of your membership. You can have up to 3 of these running on your site. What this is, it's the video software to make an interactive video for your website. This is where you can say, the video can pop up and introduce yourself and ask a question. Like I use the example of realtors all the time. You could pop up and say, oh, are you here to buy your house or sell a house? And then the 2 buttons pop up, they click, and then the next video loads. And it says, oh, great. I see you're here to buy a house. That's awesome. Let me ask you, you can ask them qualifying questions to figure out what's important to them and have an actual interactive video, just like a salesperson. If you take your process from your salesperson, sit down and watch your salesperson or watch a good salesperson that sells something. They ask questions to figure out what's important, and then they tailor their presentation based on the answering of the questions. That's what this is in video format. This is how you take that thing in the real world and you turn it into an online automated sales attendant. Give that to you guys for free. This one is Audience Finder software. This will go into Facebook and it will dig all the golden audiences out of Facebook for you. Again, that's in there. It's available for you guys. Here is a voice search software. This is mostly for the guys that are doing SEO, heavy, hardcore SEO guys. That's for them. Same thing with this. What this is a script that I actually wrote, and you put it on your website, and you guys, a lot of people call me diabolical. And this is why. What this script does is in your web browser, you have what's called a back button. That back button has history. So when you come to a website and you don't like it and you hit the back button, you go back to where you started. Well, Google monitors that. And that's what they call bounce rate. A high bounce rate tells Google that your site's not good. A high bounce rate tells them we shouldn't send any more people there because they don't like it. Google learns that from their AI. And then that can give you a boatload of traffic, or it can take it all away. So if you have a high bounce rate, that's something you need to address. Your messaging is not right. Your conversion is not right. And Google knows that. Because when they send you a customer or a referral, anybody that clicks from Google to go to your site, if they bounce back, they just told Google. It's like they went and told mom on you. They said, Mom, I didn't get a good experience over there. Don't send me there again. And Google listens to that. That's really important for you guys in business to not do that to yourself. Don't build crappy sites that people are going to bounce off of. That will hurt you bad. I mean, that's been my specialty for over 20 years, is driving organic traffic out of Google. I know how they work. I know how they think. So what I did, I wrote this little script you can put on your site. It's just a little piece of code. You can drop it into the header of your website. Any website, doesn't have to, it could be a WordPress, it could be HTML, it could be anything. This is a generic script. What it does, it rewrites the browser history. So let's say Google sends you somebody and they go to hit the back button. I've rewritten the history of the back button. So when they click the back button, they do not go back to Google. They go to a page that says, oh, you didn't find what you were looking for. How about this? Give them another option.
You are diabolical.
It's like an exit pop. You know how exit pops will, if somebody tries to leave your page, it says, wait, maybe you didn't understand. Sorry. I'm sorry if I offended you. Let me try again. That's what it is. It gives you that ability. Now, some people have said, well, doesn't that piss people off? Are they going to get pissed if you do that to them? Well, they're already pissed. You already screwed up. This is your last chance at redemption. You know, don't worry about destroying the relationship. You already did that. I'm giving you a way to save it. So anyway, that's what that is. And, you know, I think I wrote that thing close to 10 years ago. It still works like a charm. And then this is Video Dominator. This one I just put up this week. This is an incredible tool. This thing, it will do, it's all about YouTube. If you're doing YouTube videos and stuff, you should get this tool. And again, I give it to you for free. So there's no reason for you not to have this. It will do keyword research and find you what hot videos are running inside of YouTube right now. It will help you write headlines. It has a headline creator built right in. It will find you viral videos inside of YouTube. It will help you spy on your competitors. It'll even help you create videos. Like there's a lot of videos inside of YouTube that are royalty free. They're just open to use, open source videos. So you can grab those and you can drop them into the designer and you can create your own video. You can put your own overlays on them and stuff. You don't have to go out and film video. You can use existing video and just edit it for your own. You've probably seen all those thousands of video messages coming across Facebook and stuff. That's what those are. People aren't doing those. They're taking pre-existing video clips and adding their logos and stuff to them. So this will allow you to do that. And then you can schedule your videos. Like let's say you want to go in there and you want to do a year's worth. You can create a year's worth of video promotions and schedule it. So this will drip it out into your YouTube account over the next year. So this is a very powerful piece of software here. That's that one. And then Agency Reel. This is like people are paying agencies a boatload of money to run their social media campaigns. This is what they're using to do it. They're using a tool, either this tool or a tool just like this, to do all those automated postings into all of your social media accounts. That's how they're doing that. They don't have 10 employees. It's one person setting it up and letting it rip. And, you know, you can go in there, you can set this up for a year's worth of campaigns to drip content out into all of your social media channels. So again, I don't know if you guys realize all the stuff that you have access to inside this membership. It's probably worth the price of admission, just that one tab right there, if you don't even care about the training.
You still haven't said where you got that voicemail button that they could leave you a voicemail rather than writing an email.
It's called, the software is called Voicemail Pro, I believe. And like I said, I bought a giveaway license of it so I could use it on all my sites and stuff. But it's called Voicemail Pro. That's the name of it.
Is the $29 a month a separate fee from the $27.97 for the membership?
It's the same thing. I think it's $29.97 for the ACT membership, the support and mentoring, what you guys are on right now.
Okay.
I think the only thing we have at 27, we have a light version of SitePop at 27, but I think that's the only thing that we've got at 27. But yeah, this membership, it's been the same. I started this in 2008. I never have raised the prices. It's always been $29.97 for all these years. And I don't ever plan on raising the price either. Even if I'm going to give Zoom away in here, it's still going to be the same price. All it's going to do is just going to get me a whole bunch more members.
Okay, but is that different from your affiliate program? Did I hear something about affiliate program somewhere that you have? Or am I conflating stuff here?
No, I do have an affiliate program. If you guys want to get in on that, let me share the screen again here. If you just go to my regular site, my internetdominators.com, and you scroll down to the bottom, there's a link right there that says become an affiliate. And that's all you have to do. Just click that button. That will connect you to my affiliate program. And then I'll start sending you links to promote. Like you can promote the ACT program. You can promote, it depends on who you have in your list. I never really say you should just promote everything, because you shouldn't. That's really not a good idea. You should only promote my stuff to people that need it. Like if you've got a church group and they don't have businesses, don't go in there and promote ACT to them. They don't need it. That's not going to help anybody, you know. And just because they will buy something because they know you, that's not really, you're not really helping them. So find stuff that people need and connect them to it. If you know other business owners, or you know people that are trying to start businesses, then the ACT program is a great place for them to start. It gives them the foundation so they can have a clear understanding of even if they have a true business idea or not. That is such an important factor. I can't tell you how many people I've seen that just struggled for years and years because they didn't have that basic foundation. They didn't have something that people wanted, or they weren't bringing it to the right people, or they weren't explaining it properly. Those three things, that's ACT, that's the ACT. You know, the A is figuring out the market segment, why they want it, all that. The C is the messaging, explaining to them why it's the perfect thing for them to solve their problem. And the T is bringing the right people to that messaging. If you don't get that right, you're going to struggle in business. There's no two ways about it. You cannot have a successful business if you've got a break in any one of those three areas. If you don't have a market, you know what happens, right? If you can't communicate to that market, you know what happens, right? If you have a market and you know how to communicate to them and you're not doing that, you know what happens, right? Those are the three pieces. You have to have all of those working in harmony to make a business go, to make it fly. You know, yeah, there's anomalies. There always is. There's people that just fell into something and it worked, but that's not sustainable. That's not repeatable. The world changes. If you've got something that works really well right now, it's probably not going to work that way forever. Things are going to change. I mean, how many people a year ago were telling me that their stuff's going to last forever and, you know, their business is rock solid, and it's like they are screwed to high heaven right now. and they would have bet the farm on it a year ago that change was nowhere near in sight. I don't care what you're doing, one little thing can change everything. Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
I've worked for Fortune 200 companies that don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're solid industrial companies doing all kinds of stuff, and
no kidding.
They've been gone long enough, people wouldn't even remember their names.
Yeah. Well, how about this one for a Goliath, a mammoth? What happened to Kodak? you know?
The inventor of the digital camera, no less.
Yeah. Yeah. They didn't make the shift. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but prior to me being in the internet space, I was in the commercial photography space. I did special effects photography. I had a big studio. I shot over $1 million worth of Kodak film, of Kodak Ektachrome 64. I literally shot over $1 million worth of that film through my camera in about an 8-year time frame. I did a lot of business. And right about 1994, 95, I started that business in 85. And right about, I had about a 10-year run at it before it was gone. And in the middle of it, it was awesome. I never saw an end in sight. It was like, this is going to last forever. You know, things were great. I made a lot of money back then because what I did, not very many people knew how to do. It was special effects photography. That's where I learned the ad agency model. I was able to sit in the board of those ad agencies, and they would dream up these ad campaigns, and I would put them on film for them. I would make their thoughts come to life on film. That's what I did. And quite often, I was doing stuff that didn't exist in nature. I was not just like taking pictures of shit that's sitting on a counter. I was making things happen on a piece of film that didn't exist. It was only in someone's mind. And I was paid very handsomely for that. And, you know, that was a good long run I had. I had that ability to do something most people couldn't do. And at the end of it, this little thing popped up in the marketplace called Photoshop. And I was like, oh shit. I could see the writing on the wall. I didn't know anything about computers. I didn't have one. I never had any interest in them, but I saw the dinosaur just forming in my backpack. It was like, oh shit, this is all about to be over. And I remember it was, you know, it was shortly after I got, what was it? So 85 to 95. I got married in 89. So it was shortly after I was married. I got to come home and tell Barb, I'm like, my empire's about to crumble under me. And she was like freaking out. She's like, holy shit, what are we going to do? Because she was working at an insurance job at the time and didn't, you know, she couldn't float us. No way, no how. And she was really freaking out. And I told her, I said, don't worry. I said, we're going to shift into the internet. She's like, the inner what? And, you know, 95, people weren't talking about websites. They weren't talking about the internet. But what I did was I looked at the client base that I had, and I said, what are they going to need next? And that's what came out to me, that was where they were going to go. And again, I didn't know anything about it. I literally knew nothing about computers. Talk about like a fish on the sand. I was pretty far out of the water at that point and feeling, you know, way out of my element for sure. But what I recognized was all the business that I've been doing with all these companies, this is what they're going to need next. And again, I can position myself in a place where I'm one of the only people that know how to do it. There was not a lot of people that knew how to do this stuff back in 95. Very quickly, I figured out how to build websites, how to host websites, how to do commerce. I was one of the first guys that was actually doing transactions online. Did any of you guys see the movie Middlemen? Watch it. It's a phenomenal movie. It's about the time I'm talking about. If you want to see a really highly entertaining movie, watch Middlemen. It's really, really cool. It's about some guys that figured out how to do commerce back in the day. And they had on their computer, they had sounds that every time a transaction happened, a bell would ring or a whistle would go, and based on the sound, they knew what got sold. And for any of you that have sat in my office, you know these sounds are going off in my office. I still do that because it entertains me. Every time somebody buys something from me, the whistle goes off or the bell rings, and I know based on the sound what I just sold. So it's just really cool. But that movie is just, it'll crack you up, and it's about the time frame. And it happened to be a segment of the market that was a little dark, but it drove the industry into where we are today because of the drive for the technology. It was a really cool time to be involved, and that's I went through that. So pretty cool. All right, let's see here. What else? I don't even know how I got on that tangent where we were flying the plane, but I lost track of the navigation. So I have so many stories about stuff that I've done. I can get very, very derailed. So
we're talking about how to not get eaten by the sharks.
Okay, so all the way back to the ADA compliance, probably. That's probably where we jumped off.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I'm curious. So you've been good at predicting the future in the past. Mm-hmm. What do you think is going to come out of what we're going through now? What shifts? What opportunities?
I think, you've seen crowd targeting, right?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the next big push in advertising. We're way ahead on the front edge of that thing, and it's not going to be long before people figure it out. But it's basically, we've been telling small businesses, like when I say small businesses, I'm talking about local businesses here, but like a restaurant. We've been telling those business owners for years that they need to build a mailing list, right? We've been telling them, if you want to drive sales in your business at the drop of a hat, you need a mailing list. More specifically, you need an email list. We've been telling them that for years. The problem is they weren't listening. Nobody did it. And now we're in the middle of a pandemic. It would be really cool right now for any one of those to reach out to their email list and say, hey guys, we're still here. We're open on Saturday for curbside service if you'd like to come get your favorite meal. What do you think that would do for their business right now? It'd be pretty hopeful, right? And we've been trying to get them in that position so they would have that ability for years, and they just won't listen. They're just too old school. You know, it's like they're comfortable. And this happens a lot. We all do this. I mean, I do it myself. We get comfortable and we don't want to shift, and that can really be to our detriment. That stubbornness to not shift. And you know, as stubborn as I am in many things, in business, I am not stubborn. I shift at the drop of a hat. I mean, if I feel wind on my face, I look and see what's coming. Yeah, something just changed. You know, I've done that in boating. Here's another just crazy story. I was parked at Catalina one night, and the boat kept shifting on anchor. And I've told my brother, I'm like, we're out of here. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. And he's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, dude, we're out of here right now. And by the time we got everything situated and on our way home, it hit. And there was like boats that sunk in the channel trying to get home that left too late. And it's like, yeah, I don't want a sinking ship. I want to avoid that nightmare. But crazy stuff. So, you know, the moral of the story is shift before you have to. But back to the crowd targeting, these people, they don't have the list. They didn't listen. So what are they going to do? They're screwed. They have no way to reach their customers unless they do very expensive advertising, which they can't afford. If they had that email list, they could reach right out to them right now and invite them in. So with crowd targeting, what we've done is we've created the list for them. We have basically collected their audiences for them, and we're allowing them to reach into that pot and connect with them. And the way that we've done that, any of you guys that have known me for any length of time know that I have this thing that we do in the SEO world with cell phones to send signals out to Google. We have a worldwide network of cell phones that are running our apps, and we have the ability to send search signals to Google. Well, in the process of building that, we connected other dots to do other cool stuff. And one of them was we figured out that we could do, you guys have probably heard of geo-targeting or geo-fencing, where you can fence off an area and then you can broadcast a signal out to a cell phone device that's in the geo-fence. That's really cool, but it's not very effective. And the reason that I can tell you it's not very effective is because I've tried it myself. I took one of the devices into Angel Stadium to test it. And I figured, I'm going to give it a really good test here. So inside Angel Stadium, on an almost sellout crowd, I broadcast to every cell phone in that stadium free beer on level 2 station whatever. And I was expecting to see that little beer stand guy get pummeled and not know what the hell was happening. But what happened in actuality was no one showed up. I broadcast that signal to I don't know how many tens of thousands of cell phones and nobody saw it. So what that told me is that's not an activity I can get behind. It doesn't work. But what does work is taking the same geofence idea and coupling it up with cell towers. The geofencing is done with satellites. The satellite is how they geofence. So taking the satellite geofencing technology and coupling it with cell phone towers to now identify the devices that enter the fence, we can take the device identification. It doesn't cross privacy borders. It doesn't get their personal information. It's just the device ID. We don't know who owns it. We just know the device ID. We can take that device ID though, and we can match that up to a consumer database. And now we know what other devices are attached to that device. Like now we don't know who owns the cell phone, but we know that person. We know what home computer they use, and we know what business computer they use, and we know if they have a laptop. They're all connected. All those devices are connected. So now someone comes into our geofence, we've got their ID of their cell phone, we can follow them home. We can now display advertisements on their home computer, their work computer, their phone, wherever they are. We can display ads to them. And we've got the data back in a year in the past. So let's say, I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say an Italian restaurant owner. This is a perfect example. We could go out and we could tell him every cell phone that was in his competitor's restaurant in the last 12 months. And we could broadcast an ad to all of them. We could follow them around with that ad continuously, giving them a coupon to come into his curbside service right now. Chances are, if they were in one of his competitors' restaurants, they probably like Italian food. chances are they're sitting at home on their devices right now, just burning time. Chances are if that ad got displayed to them, it might create a desire for Italian food. And they know where to get it, and it's discounted. That's how I build a mousetrap. That's how I catch a lot of mice. So that's called crowd targeting, and it's very effective. If you have audiences that gather in certain areas, like a trade show, we can geofence the convention center for a week or for 3 days or however long the convention's going on. When your ideal customers are inside that building, we can flag all of their IDs on their phones and we can follow them home for you. And we also have data of going back a year, all the US locations. So you could say, you could come to me right now and say, hey, there was a trade show in Dallas last July. Can you get that audience? I've got that audience. I could send them ads for you right now. That's pretty cool. So that's crowd targeting. I threw a little nugget of that out at Craig's thing, and everybody was like, what in the hell is he talking about? And Craig even Craig went like I was smoking something. I'm like, no, this is really powerful stuff.
No
So
kidding.
really, really cool stuff.
That's diabolical.
Yeah, I have, my name has been attached to that for many, many years. I think things on a different level in a lot of cases. Like if you need to figure out how to do something, I'm your guy. I can figure it out. I might not know how to write the code for it and all that, but I can lay out the blueprint for what needs to get done to make something happen. So, all right. What else? I know there's a bunch of stuff in the chat that I haven't looked at here. Let's see. Okay, we covered that. Looks like we've covered most of this. Is there anything I missed? I didn't cover that you guys wanted to hit this week?
I have a quick question.
Kind of been all over the board here.
I'm afraid so. Is there a way to put other affiliate links into Kartra? You know, I've got yours and I've got Craig's in Kartra, but for people that are not on Kartra but I have the affiliate link for, can I put it into Kartra? Do you think? Do you know?
Well, Kartra has its own marketplace.
Right.
You can't. Kartra is the only one that can have their own product in the marketplace.
Okay, I got it.
So they are the product. You are the affiliate. So when you're the affiliate, it's your job now to take your affiliate link out to a different audience and invite them into the party. And that's how you get paid.
Right. I think I must have misspoke. I have affiliate arrangements with people outside of Kartra.
Okay, gotcha. So if you have other products, it's still the same thing unless it's your product. If it's your product, you can add it to the Kartra marketplace.
Got it.
If it's not your product, you could potentially create a product and put it in there.
There's an idea.
But your problem there is you're going to pay commissions on somebody that's paying you commissions.
Yeah. So
what that is, that there's actually a name for that. It's called arbitrage. So it's like
good, wonderful term, wonderful term.
It's a very known technique in the affiliate world. Like if you've got somebody that'll pay you $100 for a sale, and you've got somebody that you can pay $50 to make that happen, that's arbitrage. You can make the $50 in the middle. So a lot of times the affiliates don't like that. It's some of them, it'll actually be against their terms of policy. So you just need to know the rules, know what you can and can't do with any given affiliate. Like arbitrage was a really big thing with Google AdWords. There were people that were paying and buying Google AdWords and then reselling the clicks.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Yeah, like they were paying $2 for a click that they could sell for $5. So they were arbitraging it, and Google didn't like that. They didn't like people, selling their $2 clicks for $5 because they wanted the $5 and wanted to pay them the commission instead. So you just have to kind of know the parameters, know the rules of the game, the rules of engagement.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Anything else? Lots of familiar faces on here. All right, guys. Well, we're 12:07. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Last chance. Anything else before we tie it up?
Can I stay on for a minute with you, John?
Yeah, I'll close this and then we can hop back in.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, have a great week. And we got good weather out here in California. I don't know about everybody else, but we're enjoying some sunshine for once. So get out there and get some of that sun vitamin. All right, guys. Have a great week, and we will talk soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.